So in the brand new update, Warchicken just added the Merkava MK4M, and I gotta say, this vehicle is good, but it's extremely awkward to play. And in this video, guys, I will be going over this thing and how good it truly is. But first, I'd like to start off with its base stats. It's gonna be having a health of 2300, and when you max it out, it's gonna be giving you extra 690 health. Now, its base speed is gonna be 40, and it's gonna be adding 12 speed when you're gonna be maxing it out. Now, when we take a look at its weapons and utility, it's gonna be having a cannon with a reload speed of 7, it's gonna be having a mortar with a reload speed of 8, and a grenade launcher with a ammo count of 12 and a reload speed of 15 seconds. The machine gun is gonna be having a reload time of 4 seconds, an overheat count of 75 bullets, and a fire rate of 750. It's gonna be armed with an active protection system, smokescreen, and blow-up panels. So this tank does definitely have a lot of defense measures. But anyway, let's actually move into a damage test and let's see how good this tank truly is. So firstly, let's take a look at this thing's cannon, which is essentially the same as the other Merkava which I reviewed yesterday. It will not be able to one-shot the Su-25, F-35B, and all these vehicles with a higher health. However, it will be able to one-shot the Super Hind or the Mi-28, which means it's going to be able to one-shot most helicopters in the game. Now, when we take a look at its damage against the Striker Shorad, it's going to be able to do around 1/3 of its health, and kind of the same results can also be seen against the Abrams X. Now, when we take a look at the mortar, it's once again going to be functioning as a second cannon when it comes to damage, so that's definitely pretty good, but it's nothing too special. Now, also moving into the grenade launchers, which are okay, their fire rate is really good, I'll tell you that with absolute certainty, but the overall damage output, it's decent because on average you're going to be able to do around 50 to 60% of a tank's health. And now lastly, moving into the machine gun, which I gotta say it's almost useless because its damage is so extremely bad. It does 13 damage and the recoil on it is so bad, like against air vehicles you're not going to be able to do too much work. So essentially you're just left with a tank that doesn't really have too much weapons to deal with air because none of them are really good at that. But yeah, the machine gun isn't going to be great against ground vehicles or tanks either. It's only really going to be able to do around 40 to 50% over time, which I guess is okay, but at the same time it takes so long to get that damage out. So essentially, this tank is really awkward to play in my opinion because once again, you have 3 ways in which you're going to have to aim at the opponent if you want to be able to burst them. So you got to hit them with the cannon, you got to hit them with the mortar, which is really hard to aim, and then lastly the grenade launcher up close. So it really is up to you if you're up for the challenge to play with such a weird vehicle. Honestly, I would personally not recommend you to be really getting this tank because another thing which is important is that it costs you 11 parts. For a brawler, you better just be using the Abrams Tusk instead. It's probably gonna work as a better brawler anyway. So anyway, for the time being, I'm probably gonna be rating this thing like a B- tank. There really is nothing more I could rank it as. It's not really that great, but yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your day.